everybody, and welcome to Two Mics, One Mic podcast, the show where two mics talk on a mic about life. I am one of the mics, Michael Joseph Kunzelmagno Jr., and with me is the other mic, Michael Anthony Zarzana.
This is MAZ, and this is MJC, and this is the place to be to talk about everything. Why do you always pause before you say my name like you have to think about it?
Because it's the dramatic entrance.
You have to think about it.
I do have to think about it.
You've said my name how many times?
You know what it is? I've said it when we first started the show. We didn't have this whole preamble, and every single time there's been some type of stutter. Either I've forgotten to introduce myself as one of the mics, or I didn't introduce your name, or in the beginning you were saying your own name. So now it's almost there. I thought today was like the closest we got to perfect.
I was waiting for you to pause though. I was like, he's going to pause, and there we go.
You know what I also have to do? I got to remember to call you Mike. I don't want to call you Michael Joseph Zarzana, because in my mind, that's what's happening. I'm saying my name.
I called you MJZ once, so.
Yeah.
Once.
So
I'm good on that.
But you know what it is? Anthony's also in my name, because it's my confirmation name.
Joseph's in my name, so.
Is it?
Michael Anthony Joseph Zarzana.
So it's your confirmation name.
Yeah.
So our middle names are flipped. I'm Joseph Anthony. I don't know if you ever knew that about me.
Yeah, I did, and
we've had this conversation?
No, we haven't, but I just never really even thought about it.
Oh, no, it's stupid. Well, we're talking about names, so it came up.
Clearly our family is just not inventive.
No. Well, if you're Italian, you can only have Mikey, Tommy, Sally, Joey, Anthony, and we got three of them.
Or Salvatore, remember that.
Yeah.
You can go both ways with Sal's.
You can go both ways.
Either Michael or Michael.
Yeah. Michael.
Nobody puts Mike on your fucking thing.
No.
Then what are you going to cut it to? Meh?
Meh.
Meh?
Meh. Yeah.
Meh? Okay.
All right. We are here. It's episode 8. It's our Captain America Civil War blowout episode. Me and Mike both went to see it on the opening night, which was Thursday, May 5th. We went to the premiere showings. I went to the first showing at the theater I went to see it to, and I think Mike went to the first showing at the theater he went to see it to. We did not see it together because we wanted to save all the goodness for the show.
We waited a week to post this for the simple fact that we wanted to be able to talk about spoilers and stuff. And if you haven't seen it in an entire week, you beat. I'm so sorry.
Yeah.
I understand people have lives, but at the same time, you got to realize we have a show to do, and we want to talk about everything, so it is what it is.
Yeah, and there's a lot of other shows that have already had their reviews up, and they review it, and they put it up. It's like they can't wait to get it up the first day. Give people a chance to see the goddamn movie.
Or give yourself a chance to really absorb and talk about it. Oh, I forgot about that. Oh, I forgot about that. Oh, I didn't like that. Oh, yeah. I like that. Oh, I hated that. Wait, I missed that. But you don't do that in the first day.
No, absolutely.
It's raw emotion. Raw emotion, we were saying this is the greatest movie ever made of all time. An hour after.
And plus, we're in a podcast, and we don't know when people are going to hear it anyway. So if we post it the week it comes out, if we post it the week it doesn't come out, you know what? We're not going to see Chris Evans again for another 2 years. If you want to find out about something about Captain America, at the end of the day, we're going to be here, and we're probably going to have the best discussion about it you're going to hear. So you're going to have to wait for us. That's all.
I believe this, personally.
I believe this as well.
I'm just saying.
And we're going to talk about it as geeks, as fanboys, and we're also going to talk about it as filmmakers.
Yes.
And I loved this movie. I'm going to start this movie. I'm going to start the talk off by saying we ranked all the Marvel movies last week.
Yes. Top 5.
Now, this is a new movie into that genre, so where does this now rank for you, Mike?
Does it knock Thor 2 knock? It gets knocked
out Thor 2. Finally, it doesn't belong in the top 5 anymore.
My top 5.
Your top 5.
Nah.
So how do you feel about this one? I know you posted on Twitter it's the best Marvel movie yet. That was right after you saw the movie.
It is the best Marvel movie, and I'll tell you why.
Marvel movie.
It's got the Winter Soldier,
and
it's got the Avengers mixed.
Yes.
So to mix those in this way and make it that entertaining and that passionate, you got to make it the best Marvel movie. Now, do I think it's better than Winter Soldier? No.
I don't either. I can't believe we're on the same page, but I thought you were going to blast me for this.
But but here's the thing. Again, you saw Winter Soldier, but once you take that almost, I don't want to say this, realistic or grounded version of that superhero.
Yeah.
But you put him in this world, in this realm, or with his buddies again, it's not grounded anymore.
It's not grounded. Exactly.
So, is it a better Marvel movie than Winter Soldier? Yes. Is it a better movie? No.
No. I can't believe you said that.
Winter Soldier and it's Civil War.
Sometimes I'm so proud of you. I look at you, and I'm like, this is the boy's growing up. The boy's growing up. You're the guy that tried to fight me. That
fucked movies up for me in my life.
Let me tell you something. You're the guy that tried to tell me the first Daredevil was good, and we had arguments about this.
You didn't hate the first Daredevil when it first came out.
But I never said it was a good movie. I always had problems with Daredevil.
We all had problems with that. Even
but you passionately defended it from your geekdom.
It was. I was in a relationship. And I cloned myself with Ben Affleck, and my girlfriend was not J-Lo, but
no.
Jennifer, we had that.
But she was also problems like Jennifer was for Ben. I'm joking.
No, not that one. Yeah. No. You don't remember which girlfriend it was, so.
No.
Like you had so many.
There's been so many. Yeah, wasn't the redhead?
No, it was before that. It
was?
Yeah.
All right, then I was wrong. I was wrong, yeah.
Yeah,
but no, I'm just saying.
Daredevil was. How long ago Daredevil
was? It was over 12 years ago now.
So it was 2003?
Something. It was, I don't know. I try to forget that period of my life when Mark Steven Johnson was allowed to touch comic book movies.
Yes.
But I'm proud of you because you said exactly what I came here prepared to say. And I actually came here prepared to fight you on this, and now there's no fight.
Remember, but the only thing I will say is that it's a better movie.
Yes.
But there are a lot better things in this movie.
Oh, I agree. There are sequences in this movie that are absolutely breathtaking, jaw-dropping. I couldn't think of them if I tried. Made me jealous that I wasn't the Russo brothers type of sequences.
Yes.
Absolutely. But I do agree with you. If Winter Soldier was a 5-star movie, this was like a 4 3/4 star movie.
Exactly.
It's so close. Not even more than 3/4, like 4 15/16.
Like in the Winter Soldier, this is more for the 10 people that look at the YouTube video, but just because I want to show, I'm showing him. I was watching the Winter Soldier with like, you know, my hand on my chin, like, wow, the story.
It's getting into your head.
All right. But in Civil War, I'm at the age of like, So it's like 2 hands on my, like, eating popcorn. I got a second round of popcorn. I've never got a second round of popcorn.
No.
And I got a refill of my soda, which I've never done that either. And I'm like, popcorn. I'm like, what the fudge?
It was pure emotion. It was.
Exactly. So.
Windows open.
Oh.
That's all right. If you're just hearing a little bit of hum or a little bit of street vehicles, we left our window open.
It was a little
warm in here. That's right. Sorry about that, guys.
No big deal.
But Mike's absolutely right. I noticed in this movie myself smiling, and I was like, I was like, how long have I been smiling? Because it was so involuntary. My cheeks were hurting from how I couldn't stop smiling, especially the airport sequence, especially all the stuff with Spider-Man. It was a nonstop successful emotional experience of joy.
When I walked out of that movie, I had one thought in my mind. Did you have a thought in your mind besides any negative thoughts?
We'll nitpick later.
But no. Do you have one thought in your mind? I'm not. Did you have any? Because I had a thought that came in my mind. What was your thought? Do you have anything?
I
just want to see if we're together.
Honestly, I didn't have any one raw emotion because I just came out of the movie actually thinking about the show and trying to put a checklist together of what I wanted to talk about with you.
Okay.
So when we stayed for the full credit sequence because now we know to stay for the end credits.
But you really don't have to. No, it used to be Thor's hammer setting. Now it's just
set up the next movie.
You could have just added these scenes to the end of the movie.
Yeah.
You really could have.
Like it's not a Doctor Strange end credit sequence that is the next Marvel movie. So you would think that
nothing with the Infinity War.
Nothing
with Ant-Man and Wasp. Nothing with Thor Ragnarok.
It does so funny because it sets up the next
Black Panther slightly.
Black Panther movie slightly. Yeah. Which is a while from now.
It shows Wakanda.
Yeah, it shows.
Okay. We know he was in Wakanda.
Yeah, right. And we know he's the Black Panther. There's no need to show a big onyx Black Panther statue.
I do wonder what they'll go with that he's housing the Winter Soldier.
It's an easy draw. He may not only be housing the Winter Soldier, he may be housing the Secret Avengers.
Yeah.
Which is not, they didn't say Secret Avengers in the movie, but as a comic book fan.
If they're Avengers and they're not supposed to be and they're in secret, makes them
the Secret Avengers, which was a book and which was part of the fallout of the original Civil War comic. There were part of the Civil War comic, there were a group called the Secret Avengers, which was Cap's group. It included Luke Cage and all those guys in the book, which isn't in the movie. Even though Luke Cage is yet to appear, he'll be appearing in September. But here's the thing, the Russo brothers are doing in the next Avengers movie proper. But they're not doing the next Black Panther movie proper. So I believe it sets it up for their next Avengers movie, per se. But I don't think we'll see them again in the Black Panther movie.
Mm-hmm.
I think what we'll see in the Black Panther movie, and this is what I hope they do, is a little bit of Captain America 1 and a little bit of Captain America 2. I hope they go into the history of Black Panther, maybe show past Black Panthers, and then bring us up to speed with T'Challa.
Because then, you know, in some variations, and I was never a big Black Panther comic guy. I really wasn't.
It depends on who writes it. The character has strong roots, and he's a strong character, but
I've seen the many variations, and there've been a few in the cartoons.
Yeah.
Which, you know, the Ultimate movies, which is the Ultimates, but, you know, they've used a couple of things in this movie. They mix it up. They use it all. And Earth's Mightiest Heroes, which today is the greatest cartoon ever made for superheroes.
Oh, Avengers Earth's Mightiest Heroes.
The best ever made.
The one before Avengers Assemble.
Yes. Which isn't bad. They've gotten better, but that's more this world's, this time frames. Avengers, but whatever. T'Challa's father is killed by, I don't even know.
Claw. Ulysses Claw.
Okay, not in this one. In this one. Well, no. He helps, but he gives the other...
No, Claw is the villain from Ultron.
No, not him. No, in the cartoon, Earth's Mightiest Heroes, Claw helps some fucking other rival guy that wants to be...
Oh, yeah, the White Gorilla. The White Gorilla from the other nation state.
That would not fucking play. Because they were using spears with force fields. It's too up and down.
Yeah.
Where this is, they're in the midst of the jungle, but they're high-tech, and they live in high-tech.
And they're hidden in society.
Yes. But why do you have a force field and you use spears?
Well, the spears are vibranium. They're the same strength of Captain America's shield.
I get it, but he could legitimately just zap you with. They could do that. They can have like things that explode you to death. Like before, I feel like at the end you saw Wakanda in this, and the society, in the jungle, their own country, but they're not living in shacks.
No. They're very high tech. They're actually in suits. They're very fine tailored suits.
And
when they first appear, they're very much part of the modern world, but their own society as well. And what I did, and this is, I don't know, we spent a lot of time on Black Panther so far, and there's even more to say, but I want to get to what we were talking about. Just one quick thing is, when we talk about
jumped off the emotion before you left.
We jumped off the emotion. The first part of our conversation, let's make it fanboy. Let's make it geek. I don't want to get too deep into themes yet. And part of the geek fanboy talk is they had they showed, oh my god, a cameo, which if you're a fan of the comics, they threw a lot of, Russo brothers are very good at peppering stuff in the comics but not hitting you over the head. In the comics, for a time, T'Challa wasn't Black Panther anymore. He was ousted from the throne. Mm-hmm. And his sister took over, and his sister was Black Panther, and she's in the movie. She comes right up into Black Widow's grill at one point.
Yeah.
And she is, in the comics, a future Black Panther. We'll probably never see her in the movies, but it's nice they threw that in there.
They could have two Black Panthers.
They could.
Yeah, they could do something like that.
And another Black Widow fanboy moment they threw in is in the comics, the Winter Soldier was a Russian machine of death.
Yeah.
Him and Black Widow.
Well, I think you don't know me, but that also
have met in the comics.
But they also met in the last movie too.
Yeah, but they didn't meet as friends in the last movie.
But they weren't friends right now when they were fighting.
No, but she said it to him in a way of like, cause he had her in a very compromising position. She said it in a way that was like, "You're my friend," or we have a past. You tell me you know me, not just, "Oh, you know me, so you're gonna kill me again." It read more of a secret history behind them, which is from the comics as well, and which is, now that they've announced they're gonna do a Black Widow movie for Phase 4. Maybe they'll get into that. Maybe they'll have a Winter Soldier.
They're going to have to, because I'll be honest with you, I like Black Widow.
Yeah.
But a standalone movie by herself, I don't know.
Well, they could do, like you said, they could do another Winter Soldier type of movie, a spy movie just starring Black Widow, which may be cool.
Yeah, but the Winter Soldier had Falcon. The Winter Soldier had the Winter Soldier.
Maybe Black
Widow.
Things. Maybe it'll have Nick Fury. Maybe Sam Jackson will come back.
I would have no problem with S.H.I.E.L.D. being in there, but I don't know how pumped I'd be just to see her. She's the only Marvel character in it. I don't know. No, I would rather have a Hawkeye movie. Personally, that's just me.
Oh my god, he's so amazing.
Come on.
There are 3 guys in this movie that don't have a lot of screen time, but every single time they're on the screen, own it.
But I need to go back we left this 7 minutes ago. I need to go back to the feeling I walked out with.
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
So we just get to that and then we'll go pause.
Yes.
Remember where we're at?
Yeah.
You had no emotion. You were doing the checklist of.
I did not have emotion.
No,
I had
specific
emotion.
My specific emotion, because, and this is.
Yeah.
You loved the first Captain America movie.
Love it.
I liked the first Captain America movie. I know the Russos are doing all this stuff, but I would love the Russos to do another Captain America movie, but in the past.
Oh, like some adventures we didn't see. When they did that, like the montage adventures.
I mean, if they can just stop smacking around Cap's fucking villain rogue gallery like they're garbage.
Yeah.
How great would it have been to see a Zemo then? We're not going to get there, but that Zemo, Baron Zemo, like, come on. Or any of that. Or Baron Struck, or just any of his characters. Like, remember, we see Captain America, Winter Soldier, First Avenger. You see Captain America, First Avenger, and you see this montage of him fighting.
Yeah.
That could be going on for months.
Months.
There could have been so much villains and things in between that. Years, yeah. You know, they do a time lapse. We don't know how long. They don't ever tell you how long it's happening. But everybody knows he's Captain America for a long period of time.
Yeah.
I think they would make it because they do grounded stuff. My biggest problem with Captain America, the first Avenger, was I didn't love all the CG.
Yeah.
That was my big problem. I know everyone's like, well, you know, I really like the movie. He loves, but just him jump, like the one scene that gets me when I'm like, was like when he was jumping off that overly gigantic tank.
Yeah, the war machine. Yeah,
that fucking terrible. Yeah. It didn't look good, and I feel like that was
back then.
The director that did not even back then, because they make movies that look that good back then, but it wasn't that long ago.
Yeah.
The guy that did The Rocketeer directed that movie.
Yeah, Joe Johnston.
And he did not change
his style.
Anything he didn't, and some of it did not play visually. That was my problem.
All right.
If I get sucked out of a movie because of a visual, I'll get sucked out of a movie.
Yeah, completely.
Which we'll nitpick later at the end of this about the Civil War, because I did get sucked out of the movie once or twice.
Yeah, I got sucked out of this movie once or twice too, in a big way.
Yeah, I got
in a big way. But here's the thing about
now back to where you were.
Here's the thing about that. I want to play off of that.
Okay.
We'll get back. We're definitely going to get back to the guys. We're only in 15 minutes. I feel like we've covered a lot. We're talking really fast. Get your New York ears on. I know we got a lot of listeners in the UK. Probably half our audience, which is all 5 of you. Thanks.
Yeah,
thanks,
my
England.
Pond brothers.
Thanks, England.
And sisters.
I know. Just try to stay with us. I know we talk a little fast and we have funny accents, but
Jungle Book.
We'll get there. Hey, Luke.
Hey, Luke. Jungle Book.
Jungle Book.
I love him.
Anyway, but here we go. Back to the Captain America idea. Thematically, as movies, this really does close a chapter on the first Avenger, Winter Soldier, Civil War. It feels like a completion of a trade paperback.
It's the best trilogy so far.
Yeah, and it feels like a completion of a trade paperback.
Okay.
And there are themes in this movie which I want to talk about in depth. I don't know if we can get there just yet. Maybe I can bring it up. But I love your idea because you can actually set up... I actually thought to my head is, if they want to do more Captain America movies, this tied up Captain America story so well that you'd almost have to start the beginning of a new trade paperback. And the way you could do that is by going back to the beginning, showing a mission that has to deal with the now. So instead of just having a whole movie in the past, have something where the flashbacks mean something to what's going on today. So maybe you could do something where there's a scientist he saved, right?
Well, I have it.
I'm pitching it. I'm pitching it right now.
I have the pitch. You're stealing my shit.
I want to pitch something. All right, go ahead.
It's not fair. This was my idea. I came up with it.
Do your pitch.
It's only fair. I had this emotion before you.
Go ahead.
Hey, Russos, if for some reason you fall upon this podcast...
We could direct the next one if you don't want to.
Yeah, really. No, we could, but no, I won't take it because you did great.
Yeah.
Very simple, and also bring back that little love interest with Carter. Have him visit the grave in the beginning. So you always like to start it off in our time. So we as people can go, well, not us, but other people, dum-dums, could be like, we're here right now. And he's visiting, in secret, the woman he loves. At that point, it might have to be, but whatever.
Maybe with Sharon.
With Sharon talking.
Yeah.
And then, there could be action sequence now of something that you were about to go into, and then you can go into it. Then he visits, then the flashback. Then you go into his time. And I don't want to come back out. I want to stay there for the whole movie. Come back out at the end. I don't want to go in and out. I want to just enjoy the story back there.
Yeah.
And at the end, come back to our time to maybe set up whatever's coming up after that bullshit. You know what I'm saying? So but I just feel like him and Peggy and what was the freak Dum Dum Dungan and all those guys.
The Howling Commandos.
The Howling Commandos. Bring them and have a really great story and use somebody that you didn't kill. Use the Red Skull, because in the middle of the scenario, he's still there.
Yeah.
But, hire Red Skull that actually wants to play the Red Skull and really puts all his heart and passion into it. Not just gets, casted because he has a good voice. Anyway, so, that's how you could bring the Red Skull back.
Well, here's what
and recast him. I'm just saying, there we go.
Well, here's my idea. And this is a little off the Civil War conversation, and this goes into the comic book series. When Captain America was missing in the ice, the government made a new Captain America, and they made a new super soldier serum, and they gave it to this guy called John Walker. That's USA Agent, but before USA Agent, they had a guy that kind of went nuts from it. So here's what you do.
I like USA Agent.
Here's what you do. You go, Captain America now is a fugitive. They can easily do USA Agent.
He should be the Nomad.
No. Dude, they may call him Nomad. Tony's got the shield back. They may give it to somebody and be like, hey, you're the new Captain America. And Cap may go, hey, all right, I'm the USA Agent. He's in Wakanda. Get a new shield from those guys.
No, it's like you took my shield. I'll just get another.
Yeah, fuck. I'll just wear the black, man. I'm gonna wear the black, white, and red.
The black with the flag.
Yeah.
That'd be cool.
All right, we're getting off topic. Just to go back real quick to my pitch for Captain America 4. All right, You go back, you start in the past. Captain America, with an adventure with the Howling Commandos, saves a young boy who later grows up obsessed with Captain America, becomes a scientist. It is now later on, the 50s, 60s. Goes into the super soldier serum, which they noticed in the Incredible Hulk. They had a whole bunch of different super soldier serum tests. You have this Captain America that they make who kind of goes nuts, and they put him in freeze. And now it's later on, and this Captain America that they made, which is the legacy of the old Captain America, comes back alive and starts causing problems. So now you have Steve have to fight
as the Nomad.
You have to fight the insane Captain America that was all tied together throughout this history, and you call the movie Captain America Legacy because it's about the legacy of Captain America. And there you go. You have movie one of a new period.
There you go.
Done.
Locked it up.
Thank you, Marvel. You're welcome. All right, back to the movie.
Love us.
Back to the movie.
I got real close on the mics. Love us.
Love us. Back to the movie. Proper. All right. Well, I was saying there was 3 guys in this movie that, from a total geek fanboy, that steal the show. They don't have a lot of screen time.
You get to pick. Say one. I get to say one. You get to say the last.
Say one. I get to say. All right. So I get 3.
Yes. No. You get 3. There's only 3. I think that's
right.
So you go.
Well,
first.
Spider-Man, obviously.
So go with.
Obviously, I have to go Spider-Man.
Let's just go Spider-Man right now, and then we'll go to the next.
Spider-Man is perfect. Pitch perfect. He's only been Spider-Man for 6 months.
Which I love.
Kind of erases the continuity of Maguire, of the other English guy.
I still wish he had glasses on. Continue.
But he's 6 months. He already found out that he doesn't need glasses at this point.
But he just said how I didn't play football then. I can't play it now. So put your glasses back on.
Not everybody. But if it's going to hurt his eyes then, because now he can actually see. Right. Why would you wear glasses if it's going? It's
a secret identity.
You ever heard of contact lenses?
Nah.
He could have just told somebody that got contacts. He could have told all his friends.
I like the glasses.
I do like the glasses.
I feel like it works. I guess maybe they don't want to do the Superman thing. They're like, let's just step away from the glasses. He doesn't need glasses.
Well, he wears a mask. Superman wears a glass because it's his disguise.
No, I know, but he had bad eyesight. Now all of a sudden he has. I guess you could say contacts. Yeah. All right.
Yeah, it's a modern one. Spider-Man is pitch perfect. There are things they change, like him living in an apartment instead of a house in Queens. But if you've ever been to Queens, there's not too many suburban houses.
No, not anymore.
Not anymore. So I don't really necessarily mind that. Aunt May is smoking hot. Marissa Tomei, it's so good to have you back so I can masturbate to you again. Ridiculously hot. No. Sorry, Mom, for that joke, but she's
the actor
smoking.
Playing Peter Parker.
Yeah,
wishes that she wasn't his aunt.
Yeah, we will get back to my nitpick about this later because it'll derail the show. It will absolutely derail the show.
Yes,
because it actually gets me angry. But Peter Parker is pitch perfect as a young Spider-Man. They cast him really nicely. I've never seen Tom Holland in anything, but great. No. Great. He plays smart, yet geeky, and so at the same time. It's something that these other guys never caught. Tobey Maguire always played it too sweet, and the new kid always played it too cool. I can't believe I can't remember the Andrew Garfield.
Garfield. I didn't know you were even at. Oh, you said Tobey.
Garfield was always too cool. This kid, acting against Robert Downey Jr., acting against these major talents, holds his own. So believable and so likable in the few screen time he gets. And as Spider-Man, now the movements, they kept very similarly to the other movies. But the way he interacts with the other heroes, he talks, and he's funny, and he's involved, and he knows things, and he's not dumb, and he doesn't have, he invented the fucking webbings, and he's impressive.
The thing I like the most about this Spider-Man. And it was funny because we made the comments that how powerful Spider-Man is as they showed him stopping a truck going 50 miles an hour.
Yeah, they showed how strong he was for the first time in the movies. They really were like, yeah, the kid's strong.
Yeah. So, but he's inexperienced.
Absolutely.
And the thing about Spider Sense, everybody makes comment, he would never get hit, but Clea Spider's been hit in all the comics.
Yeah.
The reason being is he's never focused.
Yeah.
So he gets hit a lot. But the biggest thing is, it's like Captain America, for all intents and purposes, is the fighting ability of Batman. I firmly believe, in the Marvel world, I firmly believe he's the best. I know people say he's not the best fighter. I say
he's the best hand-to-hand combatant in the Marvel universe.
So he knows he can't fight Spider-Man hand-to-hand, but he's be able to outsmart him in a fight. Not I say outsmart him in a fight. Not outsmart him in the world. We don't, because Peter Parker is very smart. But in strategy. He was able to beat him. And that was the big argument we were having. Like I was like, "Oh, Cap's going to beat him. If they go hand to hand, he's going to find a way to beat him." And it's like Batman; he beats everyone, and he did beat him. So didn't knock him out.
He beat him, but Spider-Man hit everybody in that goddamn team. He got licks in on everybody.
Well, Spider-Man.
He took down Winter Soldier and Falcon together.
Well, that's not hard to do.
Together.
Listen, we love them. They're great characters, but they are B compared to an A.
Yeah.
Those are B characters.
I know, but I'm just saying, like, but he still took out two guys at once.
And what I love...
Here's why the Spider Sense doesn't... A, he's inexperienced. And the Spider Sense is an instinctual thing. And when you're a thinker, like Spider-Man is, he overthinks. And sometimes he doesn't pay attention to it.
And here's the thing. You're in a fight already. You're in an intense moment.
And he's a kid. And he loves these guys. He actually doesn't want to hurt his heroes. I love that they make the fact that he looks at Captain America with awe.
Yeah.
You know?
Well, like I said, here's the thing. Your Spider Sense goes off if you're in danger.
Yeah.
Yes, he's in danger surrounded.
But they're not trying to kill him.
Again, still he knows someone's going to come at him and hit him.
Yeah.
So here you are surrounded by guys that are going to hit me. So your spy sense should be going off the whole time. So you ain't going to notice this guy running up on your shoulder punching you in the face.
Yeah, no.
Your sense is already going off. One-on-one, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
It's like an overload, which he made a comment. They made sure to put Spider-Man in a scenario where he isn't Spider-Man 5 years and doesn't go off and wreck the entire team of Captain America.
Yeah.
Like, I'm wrecking you. Except maybe Wanda.
Yeah.
Wanda don't have to hit him with her hands.
No.
So that's...
I love the way the suit in motion, too. He looked like really good Spider-Man. And even when the material of the suit, they made sure to show you was cloth. It's not a metallic material. Because there's a part where half the mask is over his face.
It looks good when it's on him.
Yeah.
When he's just laying there.
When he's laying there, and he's like... And it's so funny. Iron Man's like, "You're done, kid." He's like, "What? What? No, no.
I'm good to go." And I also like the fact... Because he did get tired. Like, he's just not used to... He's fighting, at this point now, in the Marvel powerhouses. He's not a powerhouse yet. Even Winter Soldier and Falcon have been in the shit.
Yeah. They're actual soldiers.
I feel like he has never faced a supervillain yet.
No. 6 months. Just street-level guys. He's trying to do good for the neighborhood. They made it... I think they kind of made it... hinted at that he's never seen somebody with powers.
Every supervillain lined up that he could fight now.
Yeah.
Because... And I can do this. I know we've always seen this one on camera. You know what? Take it off. Take the blinds off. You have never seen any of his villains done by Marvel.
Yeah, no.
So every villain he's fought in other movies, I am now erasing.
Yeah, they're completely erased.
I feel like they want to go in, make Spider-Man movies, and use the guys they've already used. You know why? Let me show you how to use Electro.
Yeah.
And like, Electro sucks. Oh yeah, want to see how Electro doesn't suck?
Well, here's the reason why now Vulture makes a lot more sense for me. Because in the original comics, Vulture was the very first superpowered villain he faced.
Yes.
Amazing Fantasy 15, there's no villains. It's just his origin story. In Amazing Spider-Man #1, he goes to join the Fantastic Four, which we can't do just yet. Come on, Fox, play ball.
Yeah, they're coming.
But in the issue, the half of that issue is he faces the Vulture. So if Marvel really wants to make the young Spider-Man, the first villain he faces is the Vulture, I'm totally on board with that now. Because now it's Marvel Spider-Man, we're keeping true to ourselves, and Vulture's your first... And then you can set up Harry Osborn, you can set up all these other guys.
Here's my ish, and Marvel, please, for the love of God, you've done this in the past. Do not, I repeat, you do not make Spider-Man's rogue gallery throwaway characters. Do not, every villain he fights, well, for the most part, you make them worthy to be on camera.
Yes.
That's all I'm asking you. Because I could very easily see the Vulture being a background villain, because in some aspects he isn't the world's greatest villain.
No.
But don't make him a throwaway character.
But he can have one good story, which is the thing. Like, you know what, yeah, the Vulture isn't a guy we're going to see in a million movies, but you know what, you can make one kick-ass Vulture story, and that's all you need to do. And you could do it. Yeah, and this comes from a gripe we have with the Captain America villains. Crossbones is literally thrown away in this movie.
You knew Cap wasn't going to die. You know why? They got to kill him. Dies in the beginning of the movie.
They blew him up spectacularly. I do like the fact, though, that it led to the repercussions of the rest of the movie. It was their inciting incident.
He set up a big deal.
It set up a big deal. So in that sense, he was, and really, he's not going to be in Avengers movies.
No.
So in that sense, I guess the Russo brothers are going, where else are we really going to see Crossbones in the Marvel Universe? The next time we see him, it'll probably be a totally rebooted universe anyway. Yeah. You know what I mean? But throwing away Strucker in Avengers...
No.
Yeah, come on, Strucker is a big deal.
No, I don't.
He's a big deal.
That. I'm not with that.
And I honestly really loved Zemo. I mean, they completely erase his backstory and make a new backstory. But I really, really love this villain. When we talk Marvel Universe has weak villains, they just introduced the second strongest villain in the Marvel Universe, and the guy never even got into a physical fight. Not one punch was thrown at him, and he didn't throw one punch, and he wins.
Yeah.
And he wins.
See, Zemo, It's funny because I was
talking... Not one physical... Realize that? Not one physical altercation.
I don't think he'd win any physical...
I know, but just saying. It's interesting.
No. 100%.
Very strong villain.
He's basically put in there... Which I also said, honestly, did you even have to call him Zemo? Anyway, you really didn't have to. Like, you didn't.
But he was just as smart as Zemo. Zemo is he's a planner.
Yes. But I love his costume.
You know what? They could have called him the Mad Thinker. I mean, the Thinker's another guy, or they could have used other characters. If you're saying that, all right, maybe.
He was there to push the plot.
Yeah.
He's a background villain because they needed a background villain. They didn't need a major. Like, we don't need them to fight anybody.
Yeah.
Like, they're going to fight each other through this whole movie. I don't need a villain like that.
Yeah, but...
We need a smart villain to push this story along, to get them to where they need to go, and they did it great.
Yeah.
Because at the end of the day, if he was maybe more of that Baron Zemo, sword, fight, at one point he would want to, run through Captain America. I want to kill him with my hands. No, I don't want to kill anybody with my hands. I just want them all to die. You know what I'm saying?
He wants them all to fall apart.
Yes.
He doesn't want the Avengers to be a presence in the world anymore.
Yeah.
He doesn't want them to be an effective presence in the world anymore. He wins. He creates a schism that pretty much destroys the Avengers' autonomy. They can no longer operate freely. Zemo absolutely, completely wins at the end of the day of this movie.
Yes.
Now, none of the heroes die. War Machine is crippled, but then again, he's in a metal suit. His powers are relying on tech, so even if he can't walk when he's outside the suit, that really doesn't.
Listen, they made
doesn't hamper.
They made a microchip for Felicity Smoke on friggin' Arrow. They can make a chip for him to walk. It really, you know what?
Yeah.
Crippling is really not anything to even. I wasn't even once he was alive. I was like, all right, whatever, he's fine.
Yeah.
Like really, he's fine. They'll figure out a way to make him walk. Whatever.
Yeah.
That's it. It's finished. Done.
Yeah.
They'll make electronic legs. Do something. It doesn't matter.
Yeah.
Like,
the deaths are in this movie are. There's one that's actually emotional because it finishes a storyline, which is Peggy Carter's death.
We really got to stop doing this, though.
What?
Start off on something and jump off and not come back.
But this is what we do. We talk.
I know,
but this is what people listen to us. All 20 of them.
I really feel like we should finish what we start and then.
But what did we start? What did we start?
The top 3 characters. We went.
Oh my God, we did.
That's what I'm saying.
I completely forgot.
It's fine though. We still have a whole half hour.
All right. You know what? And I wanted to get back to this anyway because this is part of the film's thematic structures that I wanted to talk about as films in general, not just Geek Fanboy stuff. So let's rewind. Go back to the Geek Fanboy stuff. Character 2, Mike.
Paul Rudd legitimately steals the friggin' screen every time he's on it.
Which is appropriate because his character's a thief.
I mean, I am like, he
was a huge presence in this movie.
Listen.
Huge.
Listen, here's the shtick. If they would have made this movie, okay?
Before Ant-Man.
And Ant-Man came out after, Ant-Man would have made Winter Soldier money or close to it. I'm sorry.
This was the greatest commercial for Ant-Man films going forward. This made everybody get on board with Paul Rudd as Ant-Man. Major character.
His wit, his comedic timing.
Who is he again?
Paul Rudd.
No, I'm joking. I'm playing off the Tony Stark thing at the end of the movie.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. Oh, come on, man. Like, I feel like that was thrown in.
But that was hysterical.
Yeah, that's not even a line that they wrote. That was just something they did to get off each other. Like, you know what I'm saying? They show, what he can do. Now here's Ant-Man. His movie's so small. Ant-Man's, no pun intended. His story is so concealed and fun and almost childlike for the whole family, the Ant-Man movie, that when you drop him in here, you're almost like, how is he going to do with all these guys?
Yeah.
I'll tell you how he does. 1, he goes and gets his licks on everybody.
Another guy that runs Ranshot.
Now I stayed spoiler free as much as I've ever had.
Yes.
So, and I didn't think it was going to happen. But in the when they're fighting in the airport, now there is no Hulk. There is no Thor.
No.
You don't have the big, powerful being right now. You have Vision, but honestly, I'm starting to not like the Vision. He's kind of getting a little... He's getting a little boring.
Yeah. We'll get into this. We'll get into the nitpicking later.
Yeah, but not bad, just because he needed.
Yeah.
Anyway, so they need a big distraction. And as soon as those words came out, I jumped up and go, no, they're not. I've only done this once. In a laboratory. I passed out, but we'll give it a try. And he fucking goes Giant Man. And let me tell you, the entire audience, and my wife and his... you said it doesn't matter. You said it sounds fine when I'm the microphone. Yeah. Don't touch my mic! My wife...
Your voice is getting dry!
I'm sorry. My wife and my sister-in-law and our good friend Ernie, who had no idea, really, went, oh, shit! And there he is, and there's your big, super powerful, and we'll get into the super strength, but not right now.
No, we did that last week. I don't care. Let's leave that on the shelf. If you want to know what we think about Ant-Man's powers, watch episode 7.
So, and there they are. They're having to team up to fight just Ant-Man. Even Vision zapping him, he's able to put his arm up and stop it.
Yeah.
And the suit they made look much nicer.
Much nicer. I think the helmet's still a little weird, that silver sleek, but let me tell you something. The Giant Man moment, the audience I saw it with, there was a few moments that were like, the whole audience reacted. When he got big, everybody in the theater fucking cheered.
We were clapping,
for Paul Rudd. People that I know didn't see that Ant-Man movie in that theater.
Yeah.
Cheered for him.
Yes.
Cheered.
And he was just... that character, man.
And the Iron Man comment afterwards was perfect. Anyone else got any surprising, incredible powers
we don't know about it? They have made fun of themselves, which I think is going back to Hawkeye with, we're in a flying city fighting robots with an arrow. None of this makes sense.
No.
We don't live in a world that makes sense. So when they comment...
I love when Spider-Man even said to Captain America, your shield just doesn't listen to physics. It doesn't obey the rules of physics at all. It was
and if it did, guess what? It'd be
boring. Yes.
So who gives... But I think Spider-Man... you picked Spider-Man as your number one. I'm kind of at this point...
Yeah.
Because the problem is... That's why I have to watch the movie in its entirety again, which I've actually watched the movie a few times illegally. But I had to for research reasons. And to see it again.
But you paid your money.
I did pay money, and the dining theater is not cheap, so I made their fucking money. I was looking so much to see how he was as Spider-Man that I didn't enjoy him as much. But I've seen it again a few times, sections, and I love him. But I didn't expect Ant-Man to steal anything. I didn't expect.
No, I didn't expect.
Why did I keep Ant-Man, Paul Rudd, to steal things from people? I didn't expect it, so that was great for me.
I didn't expect him to come in and be such a presence either. I didn't every line of dialogue he has nails it. Nails it. From the minute they open the van and Cap's explaining, well, this is going to make us criminals. And he's like, all right.
Yeah, what else is new? I am a criminal.
To the fight sequence when even the stuff is, like we're talking about the Giant Man stuff, but even the things they do with him as Ant-Man, getting into Tony Stark's suit, pulling him away. I'm your conscience.
I forgot about this.
I'm your conscience. You haven't listened to me in a while.
He throws the truck. It explodes. Oh my God. I thought it was a water truck. And he looks at him like, he fucking... And by the way, that's how you do, Russo's. That's how you do comedy in a movie like that.
Yes.
And not make it obnoxious. Congratulations. The Russos should make every movie. I'm sorry.
I'm really excited that they're doing both of Infinity Wars movies, which they're not calling Infinity Wars anymore, which is what I like too, because I hate Part 1, Part 2 crap like they did with Harry Potter, even though that was based off books. You know what? Yeah. It's Avengers 3, Avengers 4. Just name it. Obviously they're going to be tying together. They're sequels of each other. They're part of the
But there are movies in between them.
Yeah, exactly.
So you got to remember that.
So just, the next Avengers movie is whatever. Avengers...
Infinity Wars, Part 1. Yeah. The whole team gets killed.
No. Avengers, Space Ghost.
Stop playing with your hair.
I know, I can't stop.
Leave it alone.
I'm looking at myself.
We're going to start throwing a fucking towel over the camera so you can't look at yourself.
I'm just going to slip the nipple this week.
He wants to slip the nipple so bad. There.
All right. Anyway. We promised them last week.
2 of our 5 viewers.
I don't care. We promised them. I'm a man of my word.
All right.
If I promise something, I'm going to do it.
I'm not slipping any nipples.
We did a nipple.
All right.
It's going to be in the hashtags.
Let's not turn this into a Mike and Mike podcast.
Let's
go back to what we're here to do today.
All right.
So, okay. Spider-Man, Paul Rudd. Who is your third guy? I wonder if you have the same third guy as me.
My third guy is Hawkeye. My third guy is absolutely Hawkeye.
Done.
We knew he was in the movie. He's in all. He's. We knew Ant-Man was in the movie. We knew all these guys were in the movie. I didn't realize that they were going to give him such a small role, but when he shows up to save Wanda from the Vision,
they have a relationship.
Yeah.
Ever since the brother died, I feel like he took on an older brother role.
Yeah.
Because they constantly kept taking care of each other.
Yeah.
Which I wonder if people miss this. I loved it. I feel like regular moviegoers are going to miss these things.
Yeah.
You have to go see it more. If you're listening to this podcast,
this is why this movie isn't as good as Winter Soldier, because now I know this is Captain America 3, so as a moviegoer, I'm expecting people to watch Captain America 1 and 2, right?
Yeah.
The required material for you to get full enjoyment of Captain America 3. The reason why the movie is a little weaker than Winter Soldier is because Winter Soldier, you don't need the Avengers movie to watch Winter Soldier.
Yes.
All right? You can watch Captain America 1 and you can watch Captain America 2 even without knowing who Nick Fury is. Because, he's at the end of Captain America 1, so it's okay. Without knowing who Black Widow is, because she's a big role, because they introduce her in the opening sequence with him and establish a relationship that she's an agent, she's a spy. In Captain America Civil War, there are characters here that if you didn't watch Age of Ultron, you have no idea why they're important. You know what I mean?
Oh, did you see? But you hear? They still tried very little to touch on the past things.
Yeah.
But they did say moving forward, they are no longer doing this anymore.
Doing what?
They're no longer doing the putting stuff in movies to catch people up.
Oh, good.
At this point, I said there's been enough.
Well, no, now it's a comic book.
We're not adding something in there just so people, for some reason, like that's. And there was a comment which I retweeted on the Twitter. That's what it says. Retweet.
Which is why it makes it a good Marvel movie, but not a good. Well, it is a good movie, but it makes it a great Marvel movie, but it doesn't make it the greatest movie of the Marvel movies, because it is now a Marvel comic book movie.
But let me say right now, this is a Captain America movie.
Absolutely.
And let me point out, my favorite character in the movie was Captain America.
Yes.
Let me tell you why. I personally, and you read this every now and again, and this is where I feel...
This podcast going quick.
Yeah. Whatever. Yeah. We'll just keep going.
There's one thing I wanted to say about Hawkeye before we get off on track.
Oh, okay.
The other reason why I love the Hawkeye character is he has two big interactions. One with Wanda, which we talked about, the brother-sister thing.
He's
always funny. Talking about the family is funny, but they have him face off against Black Widow. And if you've watched the movies now, you know they have a relationship, working relationship that is very strong. They're best friends. And they're fighting each other, and he's like, "Are we still friends?"
I like that Wanda gets pissed.
Yeah, that he's pulling his punches.
You're pulling your punches.
Yeah.
Which, assuming that Black Widow wasn't pulling her punches.
No, she's a professional.
So,
but she's not. She's so she's so good, Scarlett Johansson. You know what's so funny? I've watched her now in these movies, and I was a Scarlett Johansson fan just because she's a good-looking actress. I've
never been a Scarlett Johansson fan.
But as an actress, I was never big on her.
No.
But she has done now maybe it's the Russo brothers bringing it out of her. She played.
She was good in Winter. Yeah.
She played such a good role because she probably had to play the hardest acting role in this movie, because she had to play a role where she is both sides. She's the woman in the middle without being a romantic woman in the middle.
Yeah.
She's the person in the middle, and that's Black Widow. Black Widow is the one that is the person in the middle of good and bad. And she plays it so pitch perfect that you can see the struggle she has with her choices on her face. No matter what she does, she's wrong.
And I like the fact that she did release her entire past.
Yeah.
So now she kind of can live a little free.
Yeah.
All the things you've done, like at the end of what was the movie? Age of Ultron. Yeah. I do forget some of that movie every once in a while. But you're not going to arrest me. Seeing what she's done, yeah, you could arrest me.
Yeah.
But we save worlds. We save this world. You're not going to do it.
Yeah.
So, but that being said, I wanted to like her. I still don't watch any other Scarlett Johansson movies.
No.
I don't preferably like her in anything else but Black Widow.
But she did a really good acting job in this.
Yes.
Yeah,
I feel like, I don't know.
Yeah.
When you're surrounded by talent, too much talent, you either step up or you get the fuck out.
Yeah.
And she has to step up.
And everybody did great. I mean, the guy that played T'Challa, great.
Oh, but he's a good actor.
Didn't expect it, but great. Yeah, but he is a good actor.
He's a good actor. I wasn't shocked about his being good. I was like, of course he's a good actor. Why would he not be good?
Yeah. I guess the weakest actor in it was Paul Bettany as the Vision, but the Vision himself is kind of a bland
He's
character.
a robot. He's a cyborg robot, whatever.
A synthetic man.
Yeah, so I guess what do you really... He's Jarvis. Basically, he is Jarvis.
Yeah.
He's Jarvis in a robotic body. So I guess he'll always just be that.
Yeah.
Because I said, Vision was a little to me. But who's really been a giant Vision fan?
Yeah. Right? But they did set up him and Scarlet Witch well, where my wife was like, "Oh, do they get together?" kind of thing, and I'm like, "Yeah." In the comics, they eventually get together and get married, and then they fall apart because
the only thing I like so they slightly set up Infinity Wars. You know how?
Because they talked about the Mind Gem.
The Mind Gem, when he takes a zap and he's like, "How did you miss?" I don't know.
Yeah.
He misses Falcon and hits War Machine.
Yeah.
But he shouldn't miss because he's perfect. He would have been able to move his head and catch him.
Yeah.
He couldn't. He didn't focus, and so that stone is starting to very little bit. But that's what I like.
But he also had the conversation earlier in the movie how he wants to be free of it and be his own, truly be his own person. Find out what that is.
He controls him, or he controls it, or maybe one day I'll control it, which he will not. But I feel like the Russo's like, you need me to talk about. We need to put the Infinity something. There's your little bit.
Yeah, there's your little bit.
Don't fuck up this movie, please. Back up. So,
all right, we got 15 minutes left in the movie. We got through the geek stuff. All right, real quick.
Did we?
Not really, but I really wanted to talk about it as a film with, like, because we mentioned it as a Captain America film, right? So here's what I love.
Wait.
Yeah.
Let me just finish the comment.
All right,
so we got all three. Oh, Captain America. I love. The second scene I went buck nutty for was when he fucking curled a helicopter. Now.
Oh, he looked.
You're like, he's gonna lose. He's gonna lose this, and he did not. He brought it together and brought it in. Every once in a while, even in the comic books, you tend to don't know how strong Cap is.
Yeah.
Some people say he's at the height of human strength. That is no human on the planet that can curl a helicopter. Some fans might be like, he's not that strong. I personally, as a huge Captain America fan, feel he should be exactly how strong he is in this movie.
Yeah. It was perfect.
Can you measure the strength of a man pulling back a helicopter? Now, a helicopter's not a jet. It doesn't take off that way. But that's a lot of pounds per pressure he's stopping.
And he wasn't doing it easy. There was real strength.
No!
That was Chris Evans' moment where I don't take my shirt off in this movie, but this one's for the ladies. That was his for the ladies movement.
No, he's doing he's doing the veins are about to explode out of his neck.
Yeah.
But he curls a helicopter. So, that being said, he is...
And when he switches his grip, it was like boom. Yeah. It was like, oh, there you go.
So here we go, guys. Guess what? Captain America is superhuman strong.
Yeah.
And I love.
That's
Captain
okay.
America has a little edge in this, which I like. They're like, okay, he's been the up and up schoolboy style Eagle Scout. Okay, he's been in our world long enough now.
Well, he said in Avengers, "You've never seen me pissed." In this movie, we see him pissed.
We've never seen his dark side.
You see him pissed. Yeah, you see.
You got to get him there.
You see Cap. You see the kid from Brooklyn creep out.
Yeah.
The street kid. You see the street kid creep out.
Which he was a street kid. Yeah. So I mean, people forget that he has his morals, and he will never compromise his morals. And I don't ever want him to. Don't do
he's
that.
a tough son of a bitch.
But don't make him always. Yeah.
No.
Oh no, we have to love each other.
He tries to be polite at all times. Yes.
And he almost went to the dark side by saying, "I'll sign it," until, of course, they're keeping Wanda in the house.
Yeah, they have
pretty much against her own will.
Yeah. He's like, "What are you?"
Oh, come on! I almost bent over and gave it to you guys.
Yeah.
But yeah, fucking did it again. Captain America is the point of this. Sebastian Stan was great. Every character in this movie was great. Every actor, everybody. Thunderbolt Ross, as small as he was, you can see him ready for that Red Hulk.
You can see him coming. He's coming into the next movies. He played too big of a role to not appear again.
He's going to be the Red Hulk. Right. Anyway.
So let's talk. I want to talk about it as a film real quick. And maybe I'll go. Captain America 1, 2, and 3. This is a true closing of a trilogy because it deals with thematically what we started out in Captain America 1, which is the young kid that wants to serve his country. All right? His driving force is to just be a good presence for his country, a good presence for the world. And at the end of this movie, he leaves that country presence alone to be his own man. So we go from a kid that his whole identity was to fight for his country. He identified himself as doing good for the greater whole. To now at the end of Civil War, realizing I don't need to stand for a country for the greater good. I can just stand on my own for the greater good because it's the principles that matter, not what the government says, not what the country says. The principles of being a good person don't change. Mm-hmm. So thematically, it closes that chapter. Another chapter that it closes is Bucky's chapter.
Yeah.
Bucky started as the best friend who then falls in awe. Sorry, that was my phone. Who then falls in awe of his friend of Cap, where he was the ladies and then becomes dark. And then now gets saved, which is a closing of Bucky's character as well. But what it also does is, and what I didn't realize what was going to happen, and which is why it's great that Tony Stark is the main antagonist of this movie, is because there were 3 relationships in that Cap had with this movie. Mm-hmm. Cap with Bucky, Cap with Peggy, which it obviously closes Peggy's relationship because Peggy dies in this movie, and it leads Cap to future things with Sharon. So it's the ending of Cap's of saying goodbye to his past completely. Yeah. And now he has to look forward to the future. So it's closed the door on his past with Peggy's passing. So Bucky, Peggy, but Howard Stark. In the first movie, Howard Stark is a major presence. And he's the 3rd relationship that is touched on in Captain America, the First Avenger. So now that his son, Tony, is in the last one, it's almost like you didn't really even need Iron Man to have Iron Man movies. It would have made sense just to have Howard's son Tony as Howard's son in a third Captain America movie, because it's the last relationship we have to touch on from the first Avenger. It's the last closing of a chapter we need to deal with. We need to deal with Howard Stark because of he was part of Captain America's world from the beginning, where he hands him his shield, and now at the end of this movie, because of the different world that we're in, he's now giving the shield back to the Starks, back to Howard's son, who he just can't seem to find an accord with.
Now, real quick, I'm not going to cut Mike off while he's talking right now because this is his shtick. Sit back and listen. Continue.
So that's what I loved about these movies thematically, because, yes, they work on a superhero geek level. But they're not just here to feed us the superhero. They're not just here to do the Batman vs. Superman. They're not just here to throw shit at the wall. The Russos brothers sat down and said, let's look at these movies as a story, as a complete story. And when we're talking about it as a complete story, let's see where it started. Let's see where we're going, and let's see how we're going to end it. And showing Howard's brutal death by Bucky, showing Maria's death, which is Tony's mother, and having Tony be the guy that Cap has to go through is such a fulfilling thematic moment that it's what makes this the best trilogy in the Marvel Universe.
How uncomfortable.
Which is where Avengers fail, because Avengers doesn't have a through line from 1 to 2. It's just a bunch of shit thrown at a screen.
How weird did you feel or uncomfortable when Tony was watching the footage?
Oh my God, heartbreaking.
It's like, and you saw it in him.
Heartbreaking.
And you saw it in him. And by the way, this is why, on the next episode, Michael Joseph Consolmagno will tear apart Kyle Smith, because I'm going to let him read Kyle Smith's review on this movie.
I didn't read it yet.
Oh, you're going to read it.
Uh-huh.
He ripped this movie as like the worst. He gave 2 stars and said how it was like one of the dumbest movie, and how Batman and Superman were better.
Oh my God.
We're gonna okay.
Oh my God.
You're gonna bring it home. You're gonna read it.
Yeah.
I want you to read it for the next 2 weeks.
Okay.
Every day.
Okay.
And I want
This guy clearly doesn't think of movies the way I did. He shut his mind off.
He has, unless I'll say this, unless it's a artsy fartsy guy turns to girl, somebody's murdered, somebody's raped, somebody's killed, somebody turns gay, somebody turns into a lesbian, somebody turns into a unless it's something of, well, it's all this, it's got to be something on that level.
Yeah.
He likes to go into a dictionary, use the biggest words he can, that he's able to pull out that makes sense. Because talking, just saying something straightforward is not good enough, and trying to make little quips and this and that, and anything. He is, and I post this on Twitter. He is the worst critic because he goes into movies with a negative thought. You don't write something like that unless you went in and thought about. As a critic, I would go in and think about what I'm going to see, who's directing it, how it adds up to everything else they've done. He went in. You could read this. He went in with negativity going into that movie.
Yeah.
We'll leave it at that. You will rip him apart next show.
Yeah. Okay. I mean, I just don't get why he didn't see what I saw. That he didn't.
I saw it.
It really is the strongest Marvel trilogy because it treats its past as if they're telling one story. That's where the Iron Man trilogies fall apart. That's where Thor 2 fell apart. It doesn't treat Thor 1 as like an opening chapter. There's no thematic ties. There's character ties, but there's no thematic ties.
Yeah.
It's why Avengers 2 completely fails. Because the only thing Avengers 2 did was try to be bigger and better than the first, but there's no thematic ties to the first Avengers movie. I mean, I guess with the Mind staff, they tried, but Captain America is just the strongest series because when you watch 1, 2 builds on 1.
Well,
when you watch 3 builds on 2 and 1.
Ultron was here to build Civil War.
Yeah.
No, that's what it was.
It's almost Captain America 2.5 at this point.
You know how they say this is Avengers 2.5? No. I feel like Avengers was Captain America Winter Soldier 2.5.
Yeah.
Ultron, because they needed Tony to get to a place where he agreed with these people. Because everyone's like, that was another thing. Tony would never agree with this. Clearly, you're not watching these movies correctly, because clearly there's a reason why Tony agreed.
Yeah.
And the Russos gave you a little here's somebody's son that died, just in case some of you assholes that still didn't get it.
Yeah.
Why he's saying yes.
That's just the Russos being a strong filmmakers, because they don't, even though you kind of need to see Age of Ultron, the Russos still tried their best to make everything in this movie. So if you didn't see Age of Ultron, you could still feel it. So that was their way of making what happened at Sokovia real for this audience. Because they're smart filmmakers. They don't want to assume, even though you have to kind of see Age of Ultron, I don't think they want to assume that their audience needed to see it. The only thing they wanted to assume is that you saw Cap 1 and 2, because this movie is a closing chapter and a thematic follow through
and if
from
you
those movies.
snatched out all the other superhero stuff and
Yeah.
try to piece together just Cap, Bucky, and Falcons, and even
Tony, because he's Howard's son.
I'm saying, pull out everything. You could maybe piece together this movie much shorter.
Yeah.
And see a complete another sequel to actual Winter Soldier perfectly.
Yeah.
Because when they do that stuff, it's almost like they film that stuff differently than they film everything else.
Yeah.
They do. If you look at it,
yeah,
they film that stuff. I mean, like when we shoot, Bucky and Cap, and when they're fighting, and Falcon and Black Widow, when they're alone in their own unit, we're gonna film like we filmed this movie. But they changed from what it looks like to me.
You know what's so funny to me? My favorite little moment in this whole movie. My favorite of all things in this movie, of all the great action in this movie, of even Bucky flipping the motorcycle around, of all the great things that happen in this movie, my favorite actual moment of this movie is Captain America kisses Sharon, and then he looks at the car, and the look from Falcon and Bucky of just, that's my boy.
Smiling like this. I never thought he'd get a hot chick, and I've seen him kiss a girl, and Falcon's like,
that was my. I've been in that moment. I was macking on the girl, and the friend's just sitting there going, "That's all right." That put such a smile on my face.
No, it was good.
It might be the perfect moment. It might be my favorite moment of that whole movie.
I'd say 90% of the jokes the audience laughed for.
Yeah.
One or two things might have missed, but at the end of the day, 90% of the jokes.
All right. I don't want us to really run along. I really want us to stay on point. We talked a lot about this movie. We have nitpicks. I don't know if you want to spend the last 5 minutes nitpicking.
Yeah.
Or just, all right. Here's nitpicks real quick. We've mentioned this. You had to have seen Age of Ultron to follow this movie, especially the WandaVision stuff. We already dealt with that. Major nitpick. Last 4 minutes.
Oh, you're going to start with you? No, wait.
All right, go.
Mine's
quick.
Small. Mine's
Go, cool. Go quick.
Listen, I understand you want to do a straight hour, but
I'm trying.
Don't rush it.
I got to go to Costco after this.
I got to run another 4 miles. Anyway,
Costco's worse than 4 miles.
Yes. Some of the CG fell a little short. There was one major thing that I said, guys, you fucked up. When Cap in the beginning gets knocked down in the original fight, he falls, hits the windowsill, hits like a metal dumpster thing and lands. It was really jarringly bad CG. You could have done a guy falling out of the window on wires. That was a little lazy. You probably would have saved a little money on that too. That even the people, I looked over when I saw it because it looked a little weird, and I looked over at people and like, that was bad. Bad CG. And honestly, just build the fucking suits from the neck down and give them CGI legs. Tony's head flopping on that CGI Iron Man. It was too clean in the background, and thus being, you could see that the neck was slightly not.
Yeah.
That's my nitpick, guys. You're going to have a lot of CG coming. Russo's, you got to be on that. We don't want Thanos at any point looking like... that's it. Yeah. That's my nitpick.
All right.
It's tiny.
Major nitpick. And it has to deal with my boy, my Jody, my Spider-Man. Peter Parker. Peter Parker is a good kid. He's respectful. He's all about responsibility. His parents died, and he was raised by his Uncle Ben and his Aunt May. Now, I know Marissa Tomei's hot, but you know what? She's in her 50s, and this kid is 19, but plays younger in the movie. 15 in the movie. He will not look at her as a hot woman. He will not look at her as a contemporary. He will not look at her as a friend. And when he walks into a goddamn room, he's not going to be informal with the woman who raised him and be like, "Oh, hey, May." And he's going to say, "Hi, Aunt May." And at the end of the movie, when he's hiding something, like under his arm, the spider signal, and she leaves the room, he's not going to go, "Love you, May," like she's his fucking friend. No, it's your aunt. Call her Aunt May. God damn it, Marvel. And you know what this is from? This is from an old gripe, all right, J. Michael Straczynski? If I ever see you, me and you are going to have fucking words because you put it in the books and you put it in these kids' heads that it's okay for Peter to just call her May. Did you notice that every other writer besides you has never done that, and before this movie, so Russo brothers, stop it. Kevin Feige, stop it. I'm talking right to the big man. People at Sony, you know what? There's one thing you did right. You had to call her Aunt May. That's it. So Amy Pascal, get into Kevin Feige's ear and be like, "Look, Kevin, I know you can control the movies, but it's really, we really have the rights to this guy. He's got to call her Aunt May because that's right. That's what a kid does to the woman who raised him. They're not informal. Come on, man. You're smarter than that. I expect better than you. What is wrong with you people?"
Okay, and
you took me out of the movie. This was my movie. If I gotta watch a whole movie of Spider-Man: Homecoming and him calling her May to her face, I'm gonna lose my fucking shit. You don't want me to lose my shit. I'll find you. I will find you. And I work for you guys, so please don't fire me.
Yeah, watch your mouth.
Please don't fire me. Just keep me on Iron Fist.
Now, when I first, honestly, I'm gonna tell the truth. I didn't even notice it. That's how
I noticed. It took me right out of the movie.
It took him right out of the movie. That I didn't even notice it because the awe factor hit me too fast. And I love Spider-Man. I clearly don't love Spider-Man that much, but I stepped back, not being as close as and didn't know about that Aunt May shit from that comic book. No.
Yeah.
I like that he said Aunt May and May. I didn't have a problem with that only for the simple fact. Here's the thing. As in a movie-wise, like I understand comics, but I take myself out of the comics. And I go into this movie. One thing that he said to me in a comic, in the Homecoming, that he went with the word, called her mom once. Because in my head, I'm like, he says May for two reasons in my mind. One, May mom, which made me sick. I was like, please don't say May because it starts with M and it's only 3 letters. May mom. You know? Okay. Second, the only thing I said, well, he does call Aunt May. When he's talking to Tony, that's Aunt May.
Yeah.
Don't you know that. But in some scenarios and in some movies, when the aunt takes the role as the mother, now we don't know when they died in this world. Now remember that.
I don't know when Uncle Ben, maybe 6, I'm assuming 6
months. Not Uncle Ben.
Oh, his parents.
We don't know. Could have been 10, could have been 12. We don't know.
Yeah.
So, and we don't know the age of Aunt May in this movie. Now, she's the actress is in her 50s. We don't know that.
Yeah.
So until we figure that out, you're taking somebody's kid in, even though and we don't know how great their relationship was before he was with the parents. She might have just been the aunt. Like, that's man, I love man, but just man. She may have went with the, because she's younger, more contemporary. Peter, you could talk to me like a friend,
Yeah.
So, yeah, I get that. But, remember, this is not his movie yet.
Yeah.
We never know. He can get into an army and go, you call me Aunt May, and she could snap on him, say I'm the parental when she may have to be, and he no longer ever says that again. But we don't know. So, I understand it takes you out, and I get it. But you have to think, okay, maybe they're going to... Now, if they don't go that way, and it's just like, she's young and hot, we don't want the world to think of her as an aunt, that's fucking lazy.
Because aunts can be hot. I've dated aunts in my single days.
Dated moms! Hey! But I did, after watching the credits... You know what? In the house, in the movie, it didn't bother me. It bothered me at the end.
It's really quick when he first walks in. And I don't think anybody but me who's really in tune to Spider-Man's world was going to pick up on it. But they make it so clear at the end credit sequence that he's not calling her Aunt May. He's just saying May. It's annoying. But you know what? I don't want to ruin the rest of my day. I got to fight a lot of people at Costco. It's fucking dangerous on a Saturday. I got to plan my route out.
May, what's your problem? It's Aunt May. My name's Lisa.
But before we go, I got to sign off for you. Here we go. We're going to end the show.
You have a sign off? What do you mean?
I was going to end the show. I was going to do a sign off.
You don't end the show.
What are you talking about?
You never end the show. I have an ending.
You don't have an
ending. Sayonara, May!
Goodbye.
I've learned how to punch. I've learned how to fight. I've learned how to kick with all of my might. I use my sword with power and grace. I quickly move from place to place. I stand here true. I stand here tall. I will not lose. I will not fall. I am the Karate Man. I am the Karate Man. I use the crane or tiger paw, the monkey style. Just watch me saw, moving so quick you cannot see. I feel the soul of one Bruce Lee, standing here true, standing here tall.